Welcome to the channel, Gaming Army. This video finds us hitting the battlefield in our Hunchback. It is a Hunchback 4SP, and this is outfitted with 2 SRM6s, 4 medium lasers, and a top speed of 77.8 kph. Now, this is a very non-standard look for a Hunchback, and that begs the question, is a Hunchie without a hunch still considered a Hunchback? Well, to answer that question, you first have to ask yourself, what is it to be a Hunchback? I would say it is 3 main criteria. Number 1, tanky chassis, able to absorb lots and lots of damage. That is a hallmark of a Hunchback. Number 2, the big right weapon shoulder. And number 3 is its ability to deal lots and lots of big damage. With that criteria in mind, we put it to the test in our first drop. This is a domination match on Emerald Vale. We've pushed into the Delta 4 area to engage the enemy, and beside the light we have found a Kodiak, and he is coming straight at us. I back off here a little bit, get some cover. He turns away from me, which is good. That allows me to get some more damage done on him. He's half down, open CT, but he's also heavily supported by teammates, including a complete wolf pack. There are 3 Timbies and an Arctic wolf giving him support. I am in a world of trouble here because I have pushed forward a little too aggressively. My teammates did not follow me, and now I am forced to fight it out on my own. We'll get the kill on the Arctic wolf, but it causes me to shut down, and that shutdown cost me my right torso. So now my mech is half down, and I'm busy focusing this other Timberwolf, while the third one is off to my left, and I am fully engaged with the enemy, although a couple of them are ignoring my presence. They must think that since I'm half down, I am not long for this world, and they wouldn't be wrong, because here comes the rest of the enemy pack. I'm stuck up against the building. The Roughneck has me cornered here, and I'm going to go down. So we finish this one off with 2 kills, 8 components destroyed, 511 damage done, but that's not the real story. The real story is, look at the damage taken, 668 points of damage, and that meets the first criteria. Moving on to our next drop. This one has us playing skirmish mode on Grim Plexus. Now, most of the enemy team has come up the hotel line except for a trio of cheeky flankers trying to push the Echo line. Our Fafnir takes out the Shadowcat. The Flea is living up to his name, and he is fleeing from our combined firepower. Vapor Eagle is hot in pursuit, and we're going to see if we can add to the Flea's misery with some chip damage with our medium lasers. I have no illusions. He's way too fast. Just want to make sure that he is actually heading out the way he ran. And as I turn back around, there's another unit, hotel up on the hillside, and as I trace him with my medium lasers, he eats Gauss rounds from our Fafnir. So there is 2 dead. Vapor Eagle takes out the third, and we are up 3-0. My next options are fairly limited at this point. I can retrace my steps back up the Echo line. I can push out across the Great Wide Open towards Gulf 6, or I can swing further to the right and do some kind of a flanking maneuver. Again, the bulk of the enemy came up the hotel line, except for a couple of wayward missile boats who are trying to stay back towards the back of the buildings there at Hotel 6, and I think that's what my target is going to be. So while I get into position, let's talk about what it is to be a Hunchback. Number 2 on our list is the big right shoulder. So let's take a look at this build. The Hunchback 4SP does not have that big right shoulder. It's actually kind of a symmetrical build with weapon systems in both side torsos, and it doesn't even have that big bulky profile that you're used to seeing in a Hunchback. So based on that criteria, I would say no, maybe it's not necessarily a hunchback. So we have
acquired.
one for it being a hunchback, one against it.
Target spotted.
It looks like we're all tied up. And speaking about being tied up, I'm about to swing the corner on those missile boats, and there they are. They've been back here the entire game. Score is 8-1, so my team does have this in hand. I am just going to get their attention, as it were, for a little bit. So there's an archer and a direwolf. I get my UAV up so I can see which way they're moving, and now I'm just going to harass and confound them as best as possible. I'm starting to get some support fire from my teammates since these are the last two on the board. And coming back around, we're taking the direwolf head on, and he is fairly fresh. Thank goodness for support missile fire. And the archer swings around as well. I was hoping he would stay back off a little bit, but he wants to sit on my right side. I need to push him off and get some space, so let's fire into his face. Oh, he must have had some other damage because we managed to take him out, heavily damage the direwolf, and that last little bit of missile fire takes him out. So we finished this game with a single kill on the archer, 525 damage done. The voting is all tied up. We have one vote saying yes, this definitely is a hunchback because of that tanky chassis that you come to expect in a hunchback. And we have one vote saying I'm not so sure this should be considered a hunchback because it lacks that big right torso weapons bay. So it comes down to this, a tiebreaker drop, and for that we're going to do a skirmish on Hibernal Rift. Now, we swung the Delta 4 corner, and we managed to find part of the enemy team staying too long at the party in Bravo 4, and now they're stuck in the low ground, being flanked, surrounded, shot from multiple angles. This is like shooting fish in the barrel, and as I push in, I see a blackjack. So we'll get a little damage on him. Teammate picks up the kill, swinging around the corner. There's a Night Jeer. We'll get some damage on him as well. And again, a teammate is going to focus him down and pick up the kill. So it's quickly 4-1. We jump out to the early lead in the power curve. Unfortunately, we're in a bad position now because we're strung out clear into Bravo 4, and this is actually a horrible position for me in this mech. I am a close-range brawler type of build, which means now I have to walk all the way back around to get back into a position to engage the enemy. And while I'm doing that, it means I am not doing any damage because of the lack of the long-range weapons. We'll just have to rely on the long-range weapons from my teammates until we get back into position, but the enemy helps me out with that by pushing into Charlie 4 and allowing me to reacquire and re-engage targets faster. Now, I want to see if I can get an angle on that direwolf, but oh, it looks like, yep, I'm going to get stuck on terrain and can't quite get... Alright, fine, we're going to slide down the slippery slope here. That wasn't what I wanted to do. I wanted to stay up on that mid-ground and quickly swing around the corner. There's a laner over there. Got to be aware of him. Instead, I've got to take the long, slow walk up the ramp to get back into position. So he should be up above me here to the left. I've just got to be careful that I don't get focused as I peek this. And wait, that's not a direwolf. He's moved on entirely. See how fast the battlefield can change? There's a Night Star. So we'll get some damage out on the Night Star. And a few more units are starting to push in across the way at Charlie 4 as well. And there's my buddy that I was looking for. He must have been... Oh, he was hiding because he was open CT. We'll take the kill on that one. And down goes the direwolf. And now we can see some more of the enemy units. One is in the low ground at Delta 4. There's a couple more over at Charlie 4 across the way. And we just got to bide our time. There's the Night Star. He pulled back really fast. And I want to get away from his DACA. We'll leave him down there to his own devices. He can't hurt us if he can't see us and shoot us. And the Charlie 4 units have pushed in. And here's a Panther. And I want to see if I can take him out, or at very least, what about that right arm? Because that's where his weapons are. but we managed to get the kill. And now we can see Mr. Hellbringer, who just shut down. We'll do some damage on him. We'll get some fire out on this little kit fox who's trying to spam us with weapons fire. And with all of that firing, we overheat ourselves just a little bit. And now we are going to drop down after this kit fox. I am open CT. This may not end well, but we live to fight another day because a teammate provides the kill shot. Must have gone through his back. And the last one standing is our friend, the Night Star. We'll help ourselves to his left torso, and my teammates are going to finish him off. So switching over to our end screen, we wind this one out with 2 kills, 8 assists, 711 damage done, and that is big damage. So yes, indeed, this qualifies as a full-fledged Hunchback.